Hello there, my YouTube friends. This is your dude, the dude, Intergalactic Brew, coming at you live, direct, and in effect from my humble abode, as you can see. I'm doing another MMA video. I'm going to give my predictions for the Strikeforce Diaz versus Daley. It's coming on tonight. It's going down 10 o'clock, exclusively on Showtime. So be there or be square. I'm really looking forward to most of the fights on here. One fight I'm particularly interested in watching is the Jardine Mousasi fight. Jardine is making his first return to the United States, or not even the United States, rather. I mean, he's just making his first appearance in maybe about a year or two to the national MMA scene, because I know he's been fighting in other promotions recently. So has Mousasi. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Mousasi return to Strikeforce and fighting in Strikeforce again. I love this guy. Mousasi is one of my favorite light heavyweights slash MMA fighters of all time. So yeah. But without any further ado, let's get down to this card. Okay, first fight of the night. We have Shinya Aoki versus Lyle Beerbomb. Now, both of these guys, I'm not going to say their fighting styles complement each other, because they don't. Both of these guys, well, one of these guys is one-dimensional, Shinya Aoki, and the other guy, from what I hear, Beerbomb, is a real solid competitor, very well-rounded, but I hear that he's extremely small for this weight class. And I've seen Shinya Aoki outside of the ring, and he's pretty big. I mean, he's not like muscular buff big, but I mean, he just has a big frame, and he is going to be the taller man in this fight, so that could be very, very interesting. But anyway, looking at the fight, Beerbomb, being that he's the more well-rounded fighter here, and the more smaller man, that might work to his advantage. So what he's going to need to do in order to beat Aoki is he's going to need to use his quickness, and he's going to basically have to try and knock Shinya Aoki out, standing up. Bottom line, you know, if he can get the fight to the ground, great. You know, Shinya Aoki, he doesn't have that good a takedown defense. Judging from the fight with Gilbert Melendez, he's more of like a pure Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy, so he doesn't have any like wrestling or anything in his background, I don't think. But from what I've seen, you know, his wrestling skills are not up to par. So if Beerbomb chooses to take this fight down to the ground, he can probably do so. That is, you know, if he doesn't make the mistake of staying in Aoki's guard and getting submitted. So my best bet for him would try to keep this fight standing up and basically, like I said, knock Shinya Aoki out, being that he is the smaller and probably will be the quicker man in this fight. So if he can do that, then yeah, I think we might be on the verge of a big upset here. But with that being said, Shinya Aoki, on the other hand, is a very, very crafty grappler. You know, he has a very unorthodox way of taking his opponents down and luring his opponents into his guard. And I really don't know how much experience Beerbomb has with big time fights like this. And I'm not saying it means anything, but you know, in the past, you know, we've seen guys that have fought in other promotions and have had so much publicity on them and so much hype around them, they haven't done so well. So it'll be interesting to see, when if Shinya Aoki does get the fight to the ground and starts working for those submissions. It'll be interesting to see how Beer Bomb is able to defend those and possibly get the fight stood back up. So yeah. But what I think is going to happen in this fight, what I see happening in this fight, for some reason, I think that being that Aoki is going to be the bigger, taller guy, I think he's going to utilize that size, and I think he's going to somehow confuse Beer Bomb and get the fight to the ground with one of his tricky, crafty takedowns. And I see Shinya Aoki possibly getting him either in a triangle or in an armbar. I just think that Beer Bomb, being that he's a little bit smaller than Aoki, I just don't see how he could possibly handle a bigger, stronger guy like Aoki that is a very slick grappler, I might add, especially off of his back. I just don't see how, if Aoki gets the fight to the ground and if he's on his back, I just don't see how Beer Bomb can withstand that. So I see Shinya Aoki getting the fight to the ground, and I either see him getting a rear naked choke or either an armbar. And I'm going to say this is going to happen in the middle of the second round, so I'm picking Shinya Aoki. Middle second round submission. But if Beer Bomb can keep the fight standing and use his quickness and distance himself from Aoki and get and prevent getting taken down, then he could possibly win a decision. So there you go. Next fight, I want to talk about Keith Jardine, Gegard Mousasi. This is a very interesting fight, to say the least. Being that both guys have not fought on the national MMA scene for a long time. Gegard, of course, is coming off, I think he's coming off a little layoff, I think he's been away from MMA for a little bit. Keith Jardine, like I said, he's been fighting in another promotion for a little bit. So, yeah, both guys, I don't know. They might have a little ring rust coming into this fight. They may not. But anyway, we all know what Keith Jardine is about. We know he's a very unorthodox fighter. He has very good leg kicks, very sharp leg kicks. His punches are decent. His takedowns, they're pretty good. So Jardine, I would say he's the more well-rounded fighter in this fight. But then again, so is Gegard Mousasi, because even though he's known for his violent kickboxing skills, standing up, he also can submit people too, as he's done in his fights in the past. So both guys, you can say, are pretty complete, but I think Gegard Mousasi is going to want to look to end Keith Jardine early in this fight using his striking. I think for Gegard, I think what he needs to do is I think he needs to fight the fight at a very fast pace, try to close the distance, and let his hands go with combinations, maybe some leg kicks, and try to set up maybe a overhand right, or maybe an uppercut, or maybe even a knee, and basically follow Keith Jardine to the ground and pound him out for the TKO. Keith Jardine, on the other hand, he needs to open the distance, and he needs to utilize those leg kicks, and he needs to use that herky-jerky style and try to confuse Mousasi, and maybe set up the takedowns with some strikes. And when he takes Mousasi down, if he can, if he doesn't get submitted, by Mousasi, because Mousasi is very good off of his back. If he can posture up when he takes Mousasi down and just drop elbows and punches and maybe pass into side control, you know, he could possibly get a decision here. Now, the question is, what will happen? You know, which one of these scenarios can I see playing out the best? I think what's going to end up happening is, I think Keith Jardine is going to do like he's always done in past fights, and I think he's going to end up being a little bit too striking happy on the feet, and I think Gegard's going to end up catching him somewhere, like, I think it's going to be early in the second round. He's going to catch him probably like with a right hook and just drop Jardine and pound him out for the victory. So I'm picking Gegard Mousasi TKO. But if Keith Jardine can get the fight to the ground by takedowns and basically, you know, just work Gegard on the ground with strikes and score points, he could possibly win a decision. But I think Gegard is going to come out with a bang here and win the fight by TKO. Next fight we have is Gilbert Melendez and Kawajiri for the Strikeforce lightweight title. From what I've been hearing from everybody on YouTube and reading the articles and everything, this is one of the more anticipated lightweight championship fights, being that back in 2004, when these two men first met, it was a very good fight, although it ended in controversy with the fight being awarded to Gilbert Melendez. Now, of course, ever since that time, both guys have changed and both guys have polished their styles up, and since then, Gilbert Melendez has just been looking like a madman, completely assassinating Shinya Aoki in their fight. And of course, we all know about that classic 2010 encounter with Josh the Punk Thompson, you know, which I thought could have went either way, but, you know, Melendez was the more aggressive fighter in that fight. So, with that being said, he's going to want to use that same mentality against Kawajiri, because from what I've seen from him, even though I've never seen him fight live before, I have looked at some highlights, and this guy he's a bear. I mean, he is a mastodon. I mean, he gets on top of guys and he starts dropping punches and elbows, and man, you know, this guy is freakishly strong. So I think what Melendez is going to want to do is, I think he's going to want to keep the fight standing here and just use his striking and avoid getting taken down, because Kawajiri has explosive takedowns, and we all know, as good as a wrestler as Melendez is, he doesn't want to get taken down by Kawajiri. So basically what Melendez is going to have to do is he's going to have to move around, and, you know, he's going to want to use the punches and the kicks and possibly put him up against the fence early and often, dirty box him, wear him out. And if he does that, I think he'll win the fight. But then again, you know, Kawajiri, he's so strong, you know, and those takedowns are just so explosive. So, but you know what? I'm gonna say that the quicker man wins it in this one. So I'm gonna pick Gilbert Melendez. I mean, you know, you can't pick against Gilbert Melendez. I mean, cause, you know, the guy's just got a ton of heart. So I'm gonna pick Gilbert Melendez. I'm gonna say by unanimous decision, just based on, you know, his work rate and him being able to be the quicker man and wear Kawajiri out. So there you go. I got Melendez retaining his title. Then last but not least, we have Nick Diaz, Paul Daley. I'm going to break it down simple and sweet like this. If Nick Diaz gets the fight to the ground early and often, he wins. If Paul Daley keeps the fight standing,